We have had exceptional bipartisan support from U.S. Congress for this summit. We begin with a message from Senator Ben Cardin, Democrat from Maryland, and member of the Foreign Relations Committee. I would like to extend a warm welcome to all attending this year's Iran Uprising Summit in New York City. Human rights are the bedrock of democracy and an issue that I have worked on during my time in office. In the recent decades, the people of Iran have endured abuses to their fundamental rights and freedoms. As the event's themes highlights, there is still much work to be done as the Iranian people work towards freedom. I commend the OIAC for your work and look forward to seeing your path to freedom take shape. Iranian Americans outside of Iran are uniquely positioned to raise awareness for the struggle for human rights in Iran. Sincerely, Benjamin Cardin. Our next letter is from Senator John Boozman, Republican from Texas, member of the Homeland Security Committee. I support the efforts of the Iranian people to bring change and democracy to their country. I am disturbed by the rising number of human rights violations in Iran, and I support the Iranian people in their pursuit for peace. The U.S. stands with the Iranian people in their fight against terrorism in the Middle East and the government of Iran's efforts to develop nuclear weapons. I appreciate your passion for human rights, civil liberties, democracy, and the rule of law, something the U.S. remains committed to for the Iranian people. Sincerely, John Boozman.
Our next message is from Senator Kirsten Gillibrand, Democrat from New York, member of the Committee on Armed Services. I send my deep best wishes on a successful event. I fully support your efforts and are inspired by the Iranian American community and the work you are doing to stand for all citizens around our nation. Senator Kirsten Gillibrand.
Our next letter is from Congressman Eliot Engel, Democrat from New York, ranking member of the Committee on Foreign Affairs. I want to thank you all for the advocacy for a free Iran. I am following closely the protest movement. It is inspiring. People have had enough. Enough of Iranian money going abroad to fund their terror proxies. Enough of not being able to afford basic goods. The rial has lost 3/4 of its value this year. Iranian students can't afford to go abroad to get a good education because it's no longer in the family budget. The Iranian people have had enough. The Iranian people need to know that the American people stand with them. American officials stand with them. The U.S. Congress stands with them. Thank you again for your support and leadership. Eliot Engel.
Our next message is from Congressman Ilyana Ros-Lehtinen, chairman of the Subcommittee on the Middle East and North Africa. In the wake of the Iranian regime's foiled plot against tens of thousands of Iranian Americans at the Free Iran meeting in Paris in June and the recent indictment of 2 Iranian spies, this is a wonderful opportunity for you to demonstrate your resolve in the face of the regime's aggression and to prove to the world your commitment to a free and open Iran. I am very proud to be a co-sponsor of House Resolution 1034 and to join so many of my colleagues in condemning the Iranian regime's state sponsorship of terrorism and in recognizing your rights and your struggle for freedom and democracy. Sincerely, Congresswoman Ilyana Ros-Lehtinen.
Our next letter is from Congressman Ted Poe, Republican from Texas and member of the Foreign Affairs Committee. Great change is occurring inside Iran. Thousands of Iranians are still in the streets of Iran demanding their voice be heard. Like your brave Iranian brothers and sisters, you too are making your voice heard and demonstrating true bravery by attending the 2018 Iran Uprising Summit. Your dedication to the cause of democracy and freedom in Iran is inspiring. And unlike the mullahs in Tehran, we in Congress are listening and support your message of liberty for all Iranians. Congressman Ted Poe.
Our next message is from Congressman Brad Sherman, Democrat from California, a member of the Foreign Affairs Committee. This summer, there was an attempted attack against the Free Iran rally in Paris. This act of terror must be condemned in the strongest possible terms. It was a direct assault on free speech. Today, as you gather in New York for your 2018 Iran Uprising Summit, you are sending a powerful message that these threats will not suppress your voice. Your efforts for a secular, non-nuclear, and democratic Iran will continue. At the same time, people within Iran are also making their voices heard. The regime in Tehran continues to conduct mass executions, jail journalists, and fuel extremism across the region. It denies its own people the most basic of freedoms. But every day, Iranians have taken to the streets to say enough is enough. We stand in solidarity with the brave Iranians fighting for this new chapter. The United States must also stand firmly on the side of human rights. In the wake of the attempted attack in Paris, your 2018 Iran Uprising Summit is a meaningful statement of resilience. Sincerely, Congressman Brad Sherman.
Our next letter is from Congressman Paul Gosar, Republican from Arizona, member of the House Committee on Oversight and Government Reform. From the canyons of Arizona to the halls of Congress in Washington, D.C., I wanted to share our appreciation for your commitment to regime change in Iran. The people of Iran are suffering under the yoke of oppression and yearn to be free. You are the tip of the spear. Continue your work. The world is watching. God bless. Congressman Paul Gosar.
Our next message is from Congresswoman Judy Chu, Democrat from California, chairperson on the Committee on Ways and Means. I stand with the people of Iran who are courageously striving for freedom in the face of their government's cruel theocratic tyranny. That is why I'm grateful to each of you for participating in this summit. This week, as Iran's President Rouhani represents Iran before the United Nations, you will be representing the reality of this regime's crimes, domestically and internationally. By coming out and raising your voices, you will ensure that Rouhani and the United Nations cannot ignore the egregious human rights abuses against the Iranian people. The Iranian people deserve to be free from the harsh and violent rule of Iran's mullahs, and the world deserves to be safe from Iranian support of terror and violence. I support your work to establish a free and democratic Iran that works with the U.S. and others to build a safer world. Thank you for your important work to promote human rights and a more free Iran. Sincerely, Congresswoman Judy Chu.
Our next letter is from Congressman Mike Kaufman, Republican from Colorado, and member of the Armed Services Committee. I encourage you to continue to stand up for free speech, democracy, and true political change in Iran. In particular, I commend you for your support for a secular, democratic, non-nuclear Iran which promotes equality and works towards peace in the region. Please also know that I remain committed to working in the United States Congress to counter Iran's influence and its sponsorship of terrorism around the world. I continue to support efforts to increase sanctions against the present Iranian regime, as well as the Islamic Revolutionary Guards Corps. Sincerely, Mike Kaufman.
Our next message is from Congressman Lacey Clay, a member of the Oversight and Government Reform. I proudly stand with the brave Iranian people who continue to be enslaved by a brutal regime that represses women, religious minorities, and voices of opposition to its crimes and human rights violations. The current government in Tehran continues to spread the seeds of violence and intolerance around the world without regard to innocent loss of life and without concern for the rule of law. It's corrupt, and cruel leaders must be held accountable. I am proud to help lead the congressional opposition to this brutal regime, and I continue to believe that someday soon, Iran will be free. Sincerely, Congressman Lacey Clay.
Representative Loudermilk. I have long advocated for a free, democratic, non-nuclear Iran, and I know that you, the Iranian people, through nonviolent protest, are the ones who will bring about real change. The road to prosperity is paved by those who are willing to sacrifice for a greater good, and we stand with you. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, over the years, the U.S. Congress has been a staunch supporter of the Iranian people in their struggle for freedom. We are very pleased to have a video message from Congressman Tom McClintock to share with us the latest efforts from U.S. Congress.